Well, I actually have a Chinese name because I just got married to a Taiwanese woman. So, and in order to register the wedding here and the marriage, we had to.
What's your Chinese name?
My Chinese name is Mei Fei Long, which is very fitting with my company, obviously. I don't know about the dragon, but flying for sure. Okay, so today I give you just a little introduction of SATISFLY, what inspired us to launch it, what we've been doing in the past 6 years, and what we're doing now. And I'm not going too much into details in technical or in commercial, but I just want to give a big perspective, and perhaps I can come more times and bring specific presentations on some data application and data fields. In 2008, we decided to enter the travel vertical from the airline industry. We decided that the airlines were a sexy business, and we wanted to do something to improve the airline world. So airlines are a very unprofitable business, generally speaking. They are hit by the regulation, meaning they're all competing with each other too much. They have a lot of regulations for safety, for national reasons. They are subject to oil price volatility, so their margins can blow off in a day if Putin decides to attack Ukraine, for example, and to global economy. So for all these reasons, airlines have been posting billions of dollars of losses in history. They haven't really made much money in the last 20 years. Still, we decided to go in. Why? Because we wanted to empower our vision to give a better travel experience to all passengers on board the airplane. We wanted to allow the airlines to know their passengers better, and we wanted the airlines to also monetize data somehow. This happened in 2008, 7, 8, when Facebook, LinkedIn, and all the major first social networking platforms opened their APIs. So we connected the dots and we said, hey, there's data, there's a lot of data there, and you just simply have to ask the users to give you the data, and you can access with APIs to all the profiles, real time, forever, and this changes everything. So we picked the most difficult industry to implement this, and we picked a very new thing, and the two concepts are now converging. It took us 5 or 6 years to educate the airlines to get to this point, and now we're getting there. Airlines are characterized by very long adaptation and sales and technological improvement cycles. So you can just imagine when an airplane is designed, from the moment that the design starts to the moment it's flown in the air by an airline, usually it takes 15, 20 years easily. So luckily we're a little bit faster here. We're a small company incorporated in Hong Kong with some funding. We started the first product rollout in 2012, and our customers are very happy. I'll go quickly because this is the boring stuff. In 2010, actually, we already started working with some airlines, and last year we got our big customer, which is Iberia Airlines, the Spanish national airline, which is also merged with British Airways. And we have other airlines and travel customers like hotels and online travel agents like Expedia, not really Expedia, but other ones that are starting to use our products. We come from IT background, so I'm the most commercial person in the company. Everyone else doesn't even want to see the customers, and this is everything. We're spread around everywhere. The core team is made of 4 or 5 people. Some of them contribute regularly to open source projects based on Python. There's a framework called Web2Py, which is actually the simplest, one of the simplest Python frameworks. So it's even I can use it. This is everything. We have very cool advisors, like every respectable startup company. This one, let me see. Oh yeah, I got it. Patrick was one of the first chairmen of Ryanair. Ryanair is the one of the biggest low-cost airlines in the world, based in Ireland. Jeffrey is a very successful entrepreneur that sells onboard magazines to airlines. So he knows how to sell stuff to airlines and the advertising media world behind the airlines, and he's a good friend. Freddie is one of my best friends, and he started many successful companies in the US and sold some of them. Interestingly, he's been working with data recently because his previous startup was called Guide and was about summarizing an article, a text from any online article, into a shorter version, have a voice reading it automatically, and creating a video content, picking up from wiki commons and making up figures on the spot. So within seconds, a journalist could make a video out of his article. And so he likes data. And his father funded the first low-cost carrier in the world, Skytrain. Shane was director of sales and marketing at Twitter, and now she is, let me get it right. She is the director of content and social media at Airbnb, based in San Francisco. Coming closer to the team, you already know everything about me. I come from Italy, and I lived 7-8 years in Asia, 5 in Hong Kong, and now I'm here. Eduardo, my co-founder, now works at Apple. So I'm. He had an offer he couldn't refuse. And Michele is the guy that provides all the contributions to Web2Buy. Paolo, his brother, does all our integrations with the airlines. So all the APIs, all the system integration to make our software work with our customers. And we have 2 spots that I would really like to fill in with type A people. One is for data mining, and the other one is for web development. The data mining one will require a set of skills that is written here, and I will send it to you. But you will understand better if I go ahead with the presentation and show you what we do, so you understand exactly what's necessary. In any case, the infrastructure is mostly Python and PostgreSQL, and you can add any piece that you think is necessary to extract, use, and enrich data out of that. This is how I like to define our platform. It's the final user of the platform is the consumer. Although we are a B2B company, the final beneficiary of our technology is the consumer, because we want the experience of travel to be more personalized. So we want the hotels, the airlines, the travel agents to know the customer to such a detail so well that they can really offer a better experience. So in fact, all of these travel features that we offer along the experience are all powered by data in some way. And this is logically how the data mining process works on logical layers. We have some storage at the bottom, we have some capturing inputs, inlets, that take anything from social media data, mostly, to booking data, to partners. We can pool information between different travel providers to even aggregate information at a very, very wide level. Then someone has to cut, dice, organize, structure, destructure, break, rebuild, re-break, rebuild again, and make some sense of the data. And this is exactly the layer where we want to start working actively now, and that's why I really want someone to help me here. And then we have application, and this is fundamental because all the data doesn't mean anything unless you use it. So you can have a great slideshow with patterns and arrows, but and peaks and ridges, but if you don't really use it in the real world, it doesn't make any benefit. So my company wants to put together enough data, crunch enough data to make travelers happier at the end of the day. The way that we do it is by selling technology to airlines and hotels, because they in fact will have the possibility to enforce the experience, to improve the experience. And in the vision, and part of these applications are very logical and make a lot of sense. It's a lot of common sense. I was in fact discussing with Wushel before. It's a matter of putting things in context. For example, a lot of airlines and hotels are starting to give tablet devices to their frontline staff, like the flight attendants or the gate agent or the check-in agent. Why? To have more information. Oh, Virgin Atlantic, a British airline, gave Google Glass to their lounge or check-in staff. And and British Airways had iPads for like at least 2 years now. Emirates has iPads, and I have had the chance to look into those iPads and see what information these airlines have on me when I fly. And by the way, I fly 200,000 or 300,000 miles a year, so they should know something. But in fact, they don't know nothing, and that's a problem. It's very cool to have an iPad or a Google Glass, but if the Google Glass only tell departure destination basically what's already written on the ticket, well, what's the advantage, right? So what we want to do is provide to the Google Glass or to the iPads very rich information, such as like this customer flies a lot on other airlines, or this customer's wife's birthday is tomorrow, so give him a present or something that he can give to his wife, or he just said on Twitter that he had a really bad day. Take special care. So, and this is very feasible. I mean, it's not rocket science, but it's a matter of putting together information in the right way, in the right method, in the right manner, and feeding it to the airlines or to the hotels at the right time. So this is our vision, and part of it is already done. But the hardcore data part, where we really understand the trends, the predictive part of the analysis, that is yet to be built, and that's why I want you to help me. So this is the pooling concept, where maybe some of you know the concept of anonymized benchmark, where a lot of different parties, even competing with each other, put a lot of data together, and some other party that is neutral collects all the data, then compares each subset of data with the average and with the sum, with all of it, and gives back the results of how each party is performing against the average. It's very useful in very large industries that have a lot of players. And airlines already are using some systems provided by IATA about fares and capacity. So very let's say operational and sales oriented topics. What we will bring to the travel industry is the same thing, but for customer profiles. So we will go to airline A, hotel B, and travel agency C, and the airline D, put together all the data. You see, we picked them up here. We put together all the data in our social intelligence backbone, and we obviously the hard part is structuring all the data in a way that is comparable from different sources, and this really requires some brain to be is it the right word? Yeah. See, and then filter out what makes this data anti-competitive, and give back the information that enriches profiles but doesn't reveal competitive strategic intelligence to the other partners. So this is one of the things that we're going to do in 2014, just to give you an idea of the scope and the vision. And there's no right way to do it, because nothing like this has been done before. Maybe companies like Facebook and Google have something similar, but again, they're very self-oriented, whereas we are a neutral player among many sources of data. So we have an edge in the fact that we can collect data from competitors and see what actually they can learn from the whole. Okay. So just to talk about human beings. This is for me a group of human beings, like people, and this is how they behave. And you may have noticed that when some of your friends buy their first iPhone 6 or HTC M8, everyone else will go look at the phone and be intrigued and want to follow. So that first person that buys the phone is this guy here. And what we want to do is make sure that when you or whatever another person is on a sales or content browsing experience on the website or on a mobile app, basically, or booking a ticket or booking a hotel, we want them to know at that very moment what their influencer is doing. So we want basically to provide an instant, tailored, accurate and actionable recommendation at the moment of content or sales browsing. An example of an application is this. This is a booking engine for hotels, and you see that these are 3 options of hotels at a certain destination. And what we can do is via API provide to this hotel company or travel agency the recommendation information. And it's not even a recommendation, because recommendation means that these other people would actually proactively recommend. This is a passive recommendation. This means that we understand from the social graph and all the analysis we do on the social graph how these other people are influential to the viewer. We understand who is the most influential. We take that one person and we place his face here or her face here, and that increases conversion on sales. So we want this as one of the many things that will help airlines, hotels make monetize information.
Have you done an influencer algorithm?
It's already working. Clearly, it's just the beginning. So, in my opinion, it's still very shallow. And although it's usable, there's so much more we can do because the amount of data that we have is really big. So, we collect from. I'll show you now what we collect. So this is our one of our. This is a dedicated platform for the Iberia airline, and I should update the logo. They just change it. It's nothing special. I mean, there's just it's on Amazon EC2. There's load balancing. There's some web application that mostly run on Web2Py. That do the front end or the API front end, and then there's a PG pool load balancing multiple instances of PostgreSQL to redound and distribute a load of the data. So this is just a basic redundant solution. It's not rocket science. Obviously, being on Amazon lets us sleep easy at night. If you have this kind of redundancy plus Amazon, we shouldn't face too many problems in the future. Anyway, we're always changing bits and pieces. For example, today we're updating to a new Web2Py version because we are using for the social login component of our platform, we're using CAS, which is it's a centralized authentication system. It's not really Java related, but it's until 2 months ago not maintained central authentication system, and then a totally new version was just released a few months ago. So now we are readapting everything to make it work with the new version. And that's really funny because, and I mean, from a data perspective, it's really cool because it's not even up to date. It's a few months ago of our capturing database structure. So this is where we put all the stuff that comes in. Basically, we open the fire hose and this database is there with a mouth open, getting everything in. And you really have to take everything. You can't let data pass without capturing it. This is already only for this airline. I think we're in a range of 20 gigabytes of semi-structured data in 9 months or 10 months of operation. So part of this we already analyzed, but we want to go really deep and make sure we don't leave anything behind. But what's most interesting is that once we have the social graph data, so we really, because all the Iberia customers connect to Facebook, LinkedIn, and other social profiles, we also have this kind of data. And this comes from a travel company. This is not from Iberia, it's another customer. But, and then we have anything from booking. This is about travel transactions, so bookings. Domestic, international, status, return date, validity, how much they paid, what's the profit on the ticket, what's we don't have payment method, which ranking on the search results was clicked to make the booking. So I look from here to Hong Kong and I take the third, then we even know that if the discount voucher was used, with other additional products were purchased, like the insurance or the reminder message, SSR, like special seating requirements, payment details, if they entered how they interacted with the previous marketing campaigns, their clicks and everything. So we have all this, plus we have all the social graph, and we have to put them one on top of each other and make sense of it. Understand trends, understand patterns, understand things, anything that will help make a better experience. So I had a bad day today and the flight attendant should know, and B, help the airlines and the hotels sell better through recommendations or other kind of personalization of the sale process. So I'm here and I would like you to know if you are interested in dealing with this kind of work, or if you know someone that would be, if you're somehow familiar with Python and PostgreSQL, if you really want to convince me that we should install MongoDB and try it, so no one managed to do it before, but if you can convince me, why not? Give it a try, put it there. We don't have a problem setting up a server for you to play around in a little big sandbox and do some damage on some Amazon server. So let me know, or if you have any question now, I'm here. TMI, too much information.
Here, demo apps. Demo apps.
We have an Android and an iPhone demo apps, but they are really for demoing specific onboard flying features. So I would say no. If anyone is interested, I can definitely have a one-on-one session and show a lot of details on of the platform, and we can collect what we do, how it's working, the performance, and everything. It's mostly B2B now, so although we are planning in the future to have some B2C direct apps, now we deliver everything via API to airlines and hotels.
So for B2B, how do you define, or how can you value the benefit or advantage you brought to the customers? Like
increase sales conversion and there's tangible and intangible, and that's the difficult part of the sale. The tangible, is the sales conversion. So by enriching the databases, allowing them to do better segmentation or better recommendation on the booking engines or the newsletters, they can easily measure an increase in sales conversion, and that's a measurable part. The intangible is the Virgin Atlantic agent with glass greeting people with more relevant information, or having more information on the consumer. That goes into
used to like combine with Google Glass for the service.
It could be a potential application. It could go anywhere. The information could go anywhere. We just provided the APIs, and then we could help the airlines or the hotels also develop a specific front end for the staff. Yes, that's doable. So mobile is not something we're proactively working on now, just because we're starting from the B2B approach. So some airlines will ask us to integrate REST APIs with their existing app. We don't really need to do that for ourselves.
As airline, like your customer, do you think they were willing, like they would like you to partner with other airlines if they're like you say you have existing customers with the airline? So have you ever like thought about?
Yeah. I've been asked this question 300 or 400 times. So the point is that very few technological companies provide advanced stuff to airlines and hotels. There's the giant ones like Amadeus, Sabre, and they're multi-billion capitalized company listed on stock exchange. Those are really huge, and they serve a lot of airlines each, like hundreds each. And there's the small ones. There's nothing in between. So the airlines understand that they can't really have a company all for themselves. Exclusivity is not a privilege they can afford. Absolutely. So they're used to have big companies or other companies providing the same service to all the other airlines. If you're referring specifically to the pooling system where we put all the data together and bring it back, well, they're already doing it with IATA, where they can compare fares and everything. So we will model it according to that so that it keeps a balanced competitiveness.
Why set up the company in Hong Kong?
Because I was living in Hong Kong.
Right.
Well, no, there's a lot of reasons, obviously, from ease, bureaucracy, taxes. It's just easy, quick, fast, and efficient.
It seems all your advisors are based in West, but why set up a company in Hong Kong?
Well, I lived in Asia for 8 years, and of all cities I've been in the world, Hong Kong is the best for setting up a young company. It's not necessarily the best for hiring talent, and that's why we have no team in Hong Kong now. But it's just a convenient location for a corporate headquarters.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean there's people there.
Then just about engaging your clients. Are your clients based in Western countries, or are your clients based in Hong Kong or China?
But that's the thing. No, in Hong Kong there's only Cathay Pacific and Shangri-La Hotels and Hong Kong Express. All the other 300 are everywhere else. So in fact, doing my sales job, I travel most of the time. So again, any city I would pick would not have a critical mass of customers on the spot anyway. The travel industry is characterized by distributedness of everything. Maybe London will have a little bit more, or Washington DC, but I don't want to move to London. I don't like the weather.
Let's thank Sergio for giving us this excellent live talk.